What can you tell us about this report that was just recently released?
Thank you very much. It's true that our report this year shows the highest number of conflict IDPs across the world. As you said, 41.3 million people are currently living internally displaced behind the borders of their countries. They've had to flee armed conflict, political violence, ethnic and intercommunal conflict from sub-Saharan Africa to the Middle East. But it's true that what our report also shows is that it's not just conflict that is pushing people out of their homes. It's also sudden and slow onset disasters from South and Southeast Asia all the way to the United States. We reported 17 million new displacements caused by disasters in 2018. So what our report shows is that this is very much a global phenomenon that's growing in scale, but that is receiving relatively less attention than the few hundreds of thousands of refugees and migrants who have tried to make their way to Europe and to the US in recent years. So we are calling for much more attention to this issue, both in the media, but also in the global policy debates on migration that are currently taking place.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there is enough attention being given to the displacement that is internal. Why do you think that is the case?
Well, I think, first of all, because it is far less visible. It is happening behind borders. Many people don't, because they're not leaving their countries, they're not appearing on the world's television screens. But it's true that in many cases, because it's happening in countries that are at war, in low-income countries, in fragile countries, many IDPs are actually not easily accessible. So there's very little, first, visibility itself of these people who are often extremely vulnerable. But I think there's also a tendency, particularly in Europe and the US, to focus on the end point of these crises rather than on the starting points. And yet we have demonstrated that internal displacement is often the starting point of onward journeys that can lead to cross-border movements and international migration.